Hello, how are ya? So let's talk real quick about whether or not Piper Blue can conceal anything you got going on. And one of the reasons that I always tell people to get 3 shades of foundation, that get one that's too dark for you. That's your camouflage. That's what you're going to use to conceal things. Then you want to get one that's really close to your skin tone, as close as possible. And you want one that's too light. That way you can brighten things. Just trust me. I've preached this for years. But I also wanted to talk to you guys about lip fillers. Now, as you know, I've had my lips done over the years. I've had, I get a little bit of filler here. I usually do an RHA filler, which is a very natural looking filler. It's not like the big, duck face lip fillers, right? Well, I don't know, about a month ago, I was in getting my Botox and talking to Kara, who's my injector, about my lips. And I was just like, she asked me if I wanted to do a lip flip. That's what it was, because I did Botox down here, because I was starting to see little wrinkles on the sides down here. I did not love that on me. It was it did help with the wrinkles, the Botox down here did, but it didn't, it's like my other muscles are so strong that it was my chin was moving in unnatural ways. And nobody said anything to me, so I don't know if you guys noticed it, but I was watching back one of my videos and it was my chin had this weird life of its own when I talked. And I was like, oh, I hate that. I would rather have wrinkles than have my chin move like that when I'm talking. So anyway, when I did that, she was like, do you want to do a lip flip, which is where you put Botox in the upper part of your lip, and it helps relax that muscle. It can help turn your lip up just a little bit. It also helps relax smoker's lines and stuff like that. But it's always kind of been a waste for me. For some reason, Botox around my mouth, it just doesn't take. I use it in my forehead. I use it in my crow's feet, but it does not take in my mouth. It's just not worth the money spent, right? So I didn't do the lip flip. And then it's maybe last week or the week before, I was doing a story and I was looking at myself doing the story in the car. And I had this deep lip wrinkle right here. And I was like, what in the actual hell is that? Where did that come from? So I hollered at Kara and she was like, yeah, come in. She's like, we can do a little bit of filler, but we're going to do it differently. So when I went in, instead of doing, when I get my lips done, I don't get much done. She uses the needle and she'll go and she'll do little tiny beads sort of through here. She'll put a little bit there and a little tiny bit here. And that's all I get done. I don't get the whole thing plumped out, but it's little beads of filler. And so she was like, instead of doing that, we're going to do a cannula. And so it's think of an IV tubing, and they sort of fish it through and they fill this. Now you have to be careful there because this is how you see, you'll see older women. I know a few personally, that have that Daffy Duck sort of mouth. It's this part is too filled and it starts to look like plates. So you have to be very careful with this. You want somebody who knows what they're doing. But she was like, that's what's going to fix that deep groove that you're seeing because you don't have enough to support what we got going on. So she went in, she fished this cannula through and just sort of filled this upper part of my lip just enough that it doesn't stick out. It looks nice and natural, but I was getting these really deep wrinkles right here. I'll put it in stories. I took a picture because this is what I sent to her. And I was like, what is that? So anyway, we fixed it. She did an incredible job. Very natural looking, very happy with it. But it was just the other day. And I've gotten some questions from people about the Piper Blue makeup. Because I'm a very natural coverage person. I don't want full coverage. I don't like a lot of makeup. I don't like the makeup-y look. I like a very natural, sort of enhanced look. Let me take my good features, bring them forward, but I don't want a mask of foundation on my face. So then it leaves people wondering, well, can Piper Blue, if I've got something I need to cover, can it do it? Well, I don't know. You tell me. Hold on just a second. Let me find my erase. Got to get some erase. You tell me. Because I have bruises from when I got my lip done. And y'all didn't see a thing. Because the Piper Blue can do full coverage. It's all in the application. So I'm going to wipe my face off real quick. I don't have much makeup on. I got a new lip and cheek I'm going to show you guys too from that Violet FR Bisou. I've got their Bisou Balm, but orangey reds are my favorite. And the one that I got from them was a pinky berry red. It was pretty, but it's just not my favorite shade on me. And they just released a cheek shade that is orangey, and I really liked it. So it came in. So we're going to put it on. We're going to keep this real natural. Okay, so let's look here. Let me zoom in. So these are, that's a bruise. Like, a bruise there, got a bruise there, I got a bruise there. I didn't really bruise on this side, and that's like a vein. A couple veins, whatever. But these are the bruises from the lips the other day. So let's cover them. I'm going to show you how I cover them, okay? I already washed my face this morning, so I'm not going to wash it again. I'm not going to make you guys sit through the whole skincare routine. I will say, though, that Pomifera, like the 40% off sale is still going on. 40% off select collections. It goes till the 31st. And also, if you don't want one of those select collections, like if you're like, great, 40% off, I don't want those. It's 20% off all body collections. And if you get one of the like regular body collections at 20% off, so like any of the extras for the 40% off, you don't get to use your cash back. You don't get the happy hour, free lip gloss or whatever. You don't get any of that with the 40% off stuff. But if you do the 20% off stuff, which is all body collections, you'll get a free lip oil of your, the tinted lip oil. And they're 20% off. And then, I don't know if you guys know this, because everybody loves 99-cent shipping. But did you know that if you order $150 worth of stuff from Pomifera, you get $1.99 shipping? I don't know. I don't ever talk about it, but you do. So it's usually like $6 shipping, which is, I hate it. It just is what it is. I hate it, but it is what it is. But if you spend $150 and you're like loading up, you get $1.99 shipping. So I don't ever order unless it's 99-cent shipping or I need $150 worth of stuff. And then I get the $1.99 shipping, just so you know. Okay. All right. We got my face wiped off. I'm going to use my BB cream and I'm going to mix it with some of my moisturizer. Because once again, I like a super natural application. And there's one part of this that I don't want to say make it tricky, but I have a specific brush that I'm going to use to accomplish covering these guys. So you might need a special brush, but we're going to do it anyway. Let me get my little broken bangs out of the way. I swear at some point I will do my hair. I got it colored and cut last week, and I've been so busy, like family in town and stuff like that, that I literally have not done my hair. I think I styled my hair one time since I got it cut and colored. This has been in a hat. Because hats are easy, especially when you have short hair and you don't feel like messing with it. When it was long, it was a braid. Now it's short, it's in a hat. Okay, so I've got my tinted moisturizer mix on. Now I want to use my darkest shade of Piper Blue. I got this one. It's like for when I'm tan. And it is, I'll tell you what shade it is. If I can get it out. It's N5 Inspire. Inspire is the name of the color. So what you're going to need is a pointy little brush. So this is one of the demi brushes from Saint. I got to give it to them. They got great brushes. Like, I love their brushes. And their brushes tend to drink up the Piper Blue. So I use the Makeup by Mario brush for my whole face. But we are going to spot treat these guys. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put on my regular shade of foundation. And I'm just going to kind of spot treat that too. So put on my foundation just sort of over my problem areas where I've got a little bit of discoloration. And I just want a little bit more of an even skin tone. I'm going to put a little bit over this because I want to be able to come up here. There we go. Come over here, do the same thing. And I'm just I'm not applying it everywhere. I'm just applying it where I can see a little bit of discoloration coming through, a little bit of redness. If I can see a vein, that's where I'm applying this. Need to get my under eyes. I use Charity on my under eyes from Piper Blue. It works really, really good. Works really well to cancel out those sort of greeny blues that I have. It will, and this is almost any under eye. I have yet to use an under eye concealer that does not crease at all. Like, this is super minimal creasing and it's crazy easy to fix as long as you don't put a ton of powder on top of it. I literally, like, if I happen to see it, and it's better. You know what I mean? But it was that way with my Saint makeup. It was that way with the OG. Like, I've always had to pat out my under eyes at least once during the day, which isn't a big deal, you guys. It's not a big deal. That's normal. Your skin moves. We have a texture. The older you get, the more texture you have under your eyes. Like, it's not a huge thing. When it becomes a huge thing is if you're wearing 10 pounds of makeup and then you touch it and now you're like bare skin, right? That's when it's like, oh no. Less is more. Okay, so that's all on. I'm not going to mess with contour or anything right now. We're just covering these guys. So you can see already just that little bit like this has lightened a lot. That is lightened. They're not as severe as they were. So I'm going to zoom in. And then we're going to go to my shade that is too dark for me, right? This is not my normal foundation shade. I'm going to use this little brush and I'm only putting the makeup where the discoloration is. I'm literally like, think paint by numbers. I need to zoom that out just a little bit so I can see myself too in the mirror. I only, look at that, look how much better already. Okay. It's easier for me if I curl my lip down and I can really see. Look. Like, and if you're wondering how it's going to stay all day, I'm going to show you a trick for that too. So, and that's another thing about the Piper Blue is it builds without getting cakey or heavy. So I can build this up and it's not going to be sticky or tacky or anything like that. It is just going to build up nicely and sit nicely on the skin. So you can see this guy just the tiniest bit. That's okay. This is okay. But I want to set this where it's at. So then I'm going to take my powder. I'm going to press my finger into the powder. Okay. I'm going to get a lot. And I am going to bake it on there. Just like that. I'm going to let it sit for a second. Okay. We're just going to let it sit. This is going to give it staying power. Now, typically, I don't do this. You see a lot of like 20-something influencers doing this under their eyes. If you're over 40, in my humble opinion, like if you do it and it works for you, then sister, rock it out, keep doing it. I'm never going to tell you you can't do that, you're too old to do that. But in my opinion, with my skin and skin of like clients and friends, if you bake your powder on under here, it is going to get cakey and heavy and makeup-y and texture-y. It's just not going to be your friend. I don't bake powder on my face anywhere, and I'm oily. But if I've got something like this to cover and I need lasting power, we're going to do this. So while that sits there, I guess we got a little bit of time to kill. I'm going to put just a little bit of contour on, and then I'm going to show you that lip and cheek that I got from Violet FR. It's so pretty. Well, it's supposed to be a cheek shade, but it's like their Bisou Balm blush. Bisou blush. Like they've got the Bisou Balm for the lips and then Bisou blush. And I was like, I bet it's the same formula or very similar, you know, I bet it's probably the same. And it feels identical to the lip balm. So I'll show you what it looks like here in just a second. I'm gonna blend that. Doing my little Tata hack to make those cheeks pop. So this is it. It's the Bisou blush. It's from Violet FR. It is a matte cream blush. And it says, I was reading it yesterday because like it's so pretty. It's like this sort of orangey, and I don't know if you could tell, but it's like marbled. Do you see how it's got like a lighter pink and then an orangey tangerine color? It's so pretty. And it goes on very matte. But it said, I was like blush, and then it was like matte cream plus brush. And I was like, look at that. It's like a 2-for-1. I was like, that's amazing. And I really like their lip stuff, so I went ahead and got it. So, and it goes on. It is like the best orangey pink for summer. And this goes like sort of with my brand, right? Like I love the orangey pink lips. I love the orangey red lips. And it works great with the Piper Blue makeup. That needs to be just a little more blended. There we go. Works great with it. So I think it's like 25 bucks for the stick, which will last for freaking ever because you don't need hardly any. Once again, it's buildable. I have not used their brush. I haven't, because it blends so nice with my fingers. I haven't needed to. Like, it's just so pretty. Okay. I'll put it on my lips too after I blend this. All right. So then we're going to use a fluffy brush, right? That's sat there for a while. We're just going to ever so gently dust that off. That's totally hidden. This could use just a little bit more love. The tiniest bit. Once again, I'm not going outside the lines. I need you guys to use your kindergarten gold star coloring ability, okay? We're not going outside the lines. We're only applying makeup to the darkness. So much better. Like, I feel like you can still see it just a little bit, but most people aren't going to see that. And we could also go over it ever so lightly with my normal shade. So do I want to use the fluffy one? I think I'm going to use the fluffy end. And I'm going to get my normal foundation shade, and I'm just going to come around it. Because once again, like that. So yes, it takes a little bit of time, but this is why I tell you to get a shade that's too dark for you, because then you can cover giant purple bruises. Like if you were just talking to me and you didn't know I had 2 almost black bruises here, would you even notice them? Like, would you even notice? I highly, highly doubt it. If I zoom in super close, there's not a ton of makeup texture there. Maybe just a little bit over here. I also have mustache hairs going on, which isn't helping my cause. But regardless. So yes, Piper Blue can do full coverage. It absolutely can. And it can hide black. So let's put some of this on my lips. You guys can see what it looks like. See? Isn't that pretty? It feels good too. It's like the prettiest orangey. That window is really bright. I'm gonna use my other one. I always try to go into natural window light so you guys can actually see. Because I feel like, there we go, that's better. I feel like fake light is misleading. Barely. Look at that. Look at that. Like, I want to wipe it off again for those of you that are just getting on. Let's do this one more time. Because I have to take my eyelashes off and put new ones on anyway, which means I'm going to scrub my face. So let's, one more time for those of you just getting on. We're going to wipe off. I just covered 2 almost black bruises on my lips from some filler. Ready? to remind you of how well that covered. So anyway, if you want the Piper Blue and you get on there and you're like, oh my gosh, there's so many colors, I'm overwhelmed. They have a quiz that you can take. And if you don't love the quiz, if you don't trust the quiz, they also have a chat that has real humans who are trained to do color matches. So if you need help, go to the chat. Like, because a lot of people have been sending me like what they use with Saint, and they're like, hey, I'm like amber with Saint. What is that with Piper Blue? And I'm like, so it doesn't work that way because their undertones are different, and I am not trained to color match people for them, and I don't want you to get the wrong stuff because of me. So utilize their chat. I've gotten raving reviews from clients that are like, oh my gosh, so helpful, so fast, I love it, so convenient. And then you're not having to wait for me to get my act together to color match you and hope I got it right. So there's that. Don't forget, Pomifera sale is still going on. Like I said, 40% off goes to the 31st, and it's 40% off those select collections. And then all body stuff is 20% off. So you can do 40% off and like no points and no extra goodies, but 40% off. Or you can do the 20% off, or you can probably do both. Whatever. Anyway, I'm overthinking this. Or you could do the 20% off body collection, and then you can use your points and you can get the free lip glaze, and that all lasts till the end of the month. And I think that's all I needed to talk to you about. So, I'm going to go wash off my face and take off these eyelashes because you can you see? They're like gapping away from my face. I don't know if you can see that or not. But when they start to lift away, I'm like, oh, okay, they're getting heavy. But this is like 9 days of wear with the lash links. So anyway, I'm going to hop off. Like I said, yes, Piper Blue can cover because we covered those suckers up. And when I do it like on the daily, it doesn't take me that long. Like when I covered them yesterday, I was done with my makeup in 5 minutes. You know what I mean? It's just when you have the dark, you want to cover dark with dark. Like cover it with a darker orangey. The more orangey, the better, because orange cancels blue. Blue is the darkest shade. So that's why I use that sort of orangey tan shade, but you only use it on the discoloration. You don't use it around it, just right on the discoloration. And then if you can still kind of see it, go over it with your foundation shade. Okay? All right. Thanks for watching. I love you. If you want, just comment link if you want a link to the Piper Blue. I do have a discount code for that. And then I will send you that link. Give me like 10 minutes to set up the link, okay? Because every time I do this, people are like, link, and I'm like, I'm not ready! What lash links am I using? Girl, I use the Celeste from Lash Links. They're the only ones I use. They're like a limited time lash, and I am hounding her to make them permanent. In fact, I bought a giant box of them because I'm terrified they're going to sell out. But they're the Celeste, CELES medley. And so I wear 16, 16, 14, 12, and 10 is how I wear them. And I'm obsessed. And they're so comfortable. So anyway, all right, I'm going to wrap this up. Love you guys. I'll talk to you later. Bye.